2 years ago, the Bengals had the number one overall pick. Dolphins really wanted that number one overall pick because their owner wanted Joe Burrow. The Bengals used it on Burrow. Last year, Burrow tore his ACL. That was in Week 11. Cincinnati would go on to win just 4 games. Now the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. And this weekend's win over the Chiefs is one of the bigger upsets in AFC Championship history. Now, the Bengals were only 7-point underdogs, but I think the perception of this is, oh, the Chiefs, they're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, the Bengals, yeah, you're going to get by them. Like you already got by Buffalo. You got Mahomes. This offense is playing great. You're at home. This is a foregone conclusion. And it certainly looked like that. 21-3. And then being a Cincinnati native, I just thought, I don't want them to get embarrassed. I don't want people to go, oh, the Bengals. I text Paulie and I said, all I'm asking for, if you say they don't win, but they don't get embarrassed, I'll sign up for that. I just didn't want that to happen again, where people go, the same old Bengals. They're not the same old Bengals because Cincinnati is going to its first Super Bowl since 1989. And the key is they got a great quarterback, and they got a great wide receiver, and they got a couple of wide receivers. And that secondary played extremely well in the second half because as great as Mahomes was, now don't say, oh, Mahomes had a bad day. Cincinnati's defense made Mahomes have a bad day. Like, at least be fair to them. The Bengals, what they did is really difficult. You're a bottom feeder, and now you're going to the Super Bowl. And I know that the perception is going to be the Rams at home and all that firepower. And like, this is what Cincinnati has faced all year long. And I don't think that Cincinnati is going to be shocked by anything. Joe Burrow doesn't seem like he's going to be shocked by anything. Like, they don't know even if they know the history. It's like, hey, I just got here. I've only been here 2 years. I mean, I got a Heisman, national title, and now I'm in the Super Bowl. Why is this isn't that difficult? Well, it is. But here's Joe Burrow on what he was thinking when the Bengals were down 21-3.
I don't know if you ever want to get down 21-3. I said it earlier in the year when we started, making some of these comebacks. I never feel like we're out of it. Obviously 21-3 isn't exactly the most exciting position to be in.
I don't think you want to be down 20. No, you don't want to be down 21-3 in Kansas City against Patrick Mahomes. And it felt like the Golden State Warriors, the first 10 minutes, 8 minutes of the game, and it was so quickly 21-3. And I kept thinking, there's going to be a moment. If the Bengals are going to make this competitive, there has to be a moment. And they had a couple of moments there. And, Kansas City not getting points at the end of the first half. And I thought, oh, my gosh, they didn't even get a field goal here. And you're thinking, well, is that going to cost them? Will that come back and haunt them? Maybe not. But it's one of those that you just sort of file away. And then you started to watch, because Kansas City was getting the ball second half. You're thinking, man, if they pile on points, a touchdown, then they get the ball back, start third quarter. It was just that you can see momentum change right in front of you. And it's strange because you wouldn't think like, hey, I'm watching this right now. Like, it's tangible. And that was the feeling when I'm watching. I thought, Cincinnati, feels like they can go toe-to-toe. And I thought that, when they tried to score with Tyreek Hill, Cincinnati Apple made a great stop. And then I thought, you're going to end up with nothing here. But here's Patrick Mahomes on putting the blame on himself.
They had a good game plan. They were doing this a lot of similar stuff in the first half. We were just executing at a higher level, and they stayed with it. They fought. I mean, that's a good football team, but it takes a lot of fight to stay in a game whenever you're down like that. But I got to be better. I mean, when you're up 21-3 at one point in the game, you can't lose it. And I put that on myself.
I talked to an NFL source last night, and I said, what did you make of Mahomes' first half, second half? And he said, I'm going back looking through the tape. Did something happen to Patrick Mahomes in the game that would have had him off a little bit? Because he goes, I don't know if he got hit. There's an injury. He said, but it was so different, first half, second half, that I thought, he's not himself. It's one thing to scramble. It's another. He wasn't doing his typical runs. But the source said, I'm going back to look through the tape. I just want to see, did something happen to Mahomes because you just don't expect him to be that bad. And he was in the second half. But I'm going to give the Bengals defense, their secondary, a whole lot of credit. And he should have been picked off a couple of times. He got picked off, twice, but he should have been picked off a couple of times. Yeah, Paulie.
There's a bunch of plays. Like you said at the end of the first half, Bengals get that P. Ryan touchdown on that screen. Great play. And then Mahomes got the ball back with 1:05 left, went right down the field. They had 1st and 1 at the 1 with 9 seconds left. And I think Romo said, well, 2 passes into the end zone, quick passage, maybe you can get 3. He goes, what you can't do is be down in the field of play with no timeouts. And they second and goal at the 1, they threw that little, I don't know what you call it, screen to
Tyreek Hill.
And he got tackled in the field of play.
Yeah, I know.
And then comes back for the second half. They have 5 plays and punt for Kansas City. Punt by the Bengals, punt by the Chiefs, and then field goal by the Bengals, interception by the Bengals on back-to-back series.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just weird, the momentum there, and something like Kansas City had it all going, where it was almost like you're going to have to get 40 points if you're going to beat us here in Kansas City. And Bengals held tough. They did. That's resilient. And you just don't expect that from a young team on the road. And then the overtime. And that Kansas City crowd, when they won the coin toss, it's like, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like, we're going to score a touchdown here. And, you're just watching this going, maybe they're not. And you had Joe Burrow keeping drives alive, scrambling. They made the big plays when they needed to. And I was speechless after that game. I truly was. And a lot of my family from Ohio, still in Ohio, and my sister who lives in Cleveland texted me at 21-3, and she goes, is anybody crying? I am. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm going to talk her down off the ledge. Because I'm always saying you have a chance. You have a chance. And we love to go, oh, they have no chance. It's like Tom Brady had a chance against the Rams at 27-3. Had a chance. He didn't win, but he had a chance. The Bengals down 21-3. You have a chance. You're on the field. And even watching it, I went, I guess they have. My wife goes, do you really believe they got a chance? I go, I got to tell my family this. I'm the one that keeps saying this. And then you're watching, I go, I can't imagine Patrick Mahomes is going to blow this lead. I just can't imagine this. He did. Yeah, Paul.
The play that would have drove me crazy if I was a Bengals fan, I think it was the second play of overtime, 2nd and 10, Mahomes throws to Robinson, and it was wide, and Eli Apple, the defensive back, had an easy pick, somewhat easy pick, and it could have been a pick 6. I remember thinking to myself, oh, that's the one that they're going to talk about. And then I think it was the next play, he threw long to Hill, Bates, the safety, tips it to Von Bell, and you're like, oh, it actually went the Bengals' way.
Yeah.